Hello, welcome to Tara's Mental Calibration. I am Tara. Before I get started, here is the disclaimer. I am not a medical professional. I am currently in trauma therapy myself. Everything that I talk about on here is through personal experience and it's my own point of view. Take it how it resonates. Do not make it your own. And I really encourage people to get therapy. If going through anything difficult, even if you're not going through anything difficult, it's okay to, get your mental checked out. My trigger warning is that you may not like what I talk about. It could hit personally, it could hit home. It's not my intention to trigger anybody. But if it does, feel free to turn off the podcast. I know people who do. All right, so what I wanted to talk about today is love. So, right before I decided to do my podcast tonight, I found something on my phone. I am a very, very firm believer that angels give us messages. And for me, if I ignore them, they keep showing up back to back to back to back to back until I cannot ignore it anymore. There are people out there who actually ignore their messages profusely. I just happen to not be one of those people. So, with that being said, I'm going to read you something that came across my phone. Angels agree. And it's something that came through Quora.com. And it was written by somebody who was on there. So it says, loving a person is not by force, it's by choice. Never make the mistake of forcing a person into loving you simply because you love them and you want them to love you in return. If you do so, you will continue to beg and force them to do everything there is to be done in the relationship. If it is obvious that a person does not like you, let them go. Don't force them. Stop asking people to talk to them on your behalf. Stop doing everything possible to get their attention. Stop trying to seduce them. Stop giving them money, gifts, your energy, and others just to woo them. It makes you look desperate, and as such, you may not succeed in your quest to get them to fall in love with you. Stop forcing people to feel for you. A heart that didn't love you willingly will never give you its best. They will only end up hurting you. If you force it, they will just use and dump you after all they told you they didn't love you, but you still went ahead to offer yourself as an offering to them. Be self-accountable for your own actions and your own pain. You're precious. Your worth can't be measured. Don't settle for less. Don't force yourself on anyone. Anyone that should love you willingly without you having to manipulate your ways into their lives. Place value on yourself. Only then would people place value on you. So I had to read that because not only did that hit home for me, but I know that will hit home for a lot of people. Being a CPTSD survivor, I have had to go through bouts of feeling worthless, feeling devalued. Some places I actually put myself there because it was the only feeling I knew and it was comfortable. And I have been in places where people didn't appreciate or love me. I am now at a point in my life where if a person doesn't like me or love me for who I am, for what I offer, for what I give, I definitely don't hold them there. But I still get angry when they lie. When they try to lie, they try to manipulate, they try to play games, and they want you to believe bullshit. They want you to believe their lies and they get mad. They want you to believe their manipulation and they get mad when you don't. It's not about yelling. It's not about fighting. It's not about telling somebody, you shouldn't be treating me that way. It's about you realizing what you're up against. And you can't talk to a brick wall. You can't talk to somebody who's unreachable. You can't talk to somebody who sits there and says, I'm not trying to hurt you, while they continue to hurt you. It's very triggering to be in a position where you're being abused mentally or physically, and you have the person telling you, I know what I'm doing to you, but I love you. And I'm going to stop. Or you have the manipulation mind game of, I have to let you go because I'm never going to be what you deserve. It's a manipulation. Somebody who wants to be with you is going to want to do better for you and be the person to be better for you, not wanting you to go elsewhere and possibly get hurt. They're going to want to protect you and do better for you. So, going through manipulation, going through all of that is mind-boggling. It can be confusing. It's best for you to truly step away and see what you are looking at. So when you are by yourself, picture how you deserve to feel loved. Picture how you deserve to be treated. And I'm talking about your authentic self. I'm talking about when you're at your lowest, when you're at your highest, when you're in the middle, when you're having perfect days, when you're having imperfect days. You deserve to be loved on all of those days. So look to see how you would want to be treated and ask yourself if you are being treated that way. And look at how you love other people. Do they love you back to the same extent? The hardest thing to do is to be around people who don't want to be accountable for their own actions. They give themselves excuses every time they are faced with a challenge. They don't face the challenge. That's the thing. They don't face the challenge. They don't conquer the challenge. They don't apply to what they supposedly learned from the last time they did it. Take a look at all of those things. These people that manipulate, they want you to shrink. They want you to only depend on yourself. They want to desensitize you into not realizing what you fully deserve. It really can turn you around to where you lose your senses. And I've been through that a couple of times in my life. There's nothing like being married to a diagnosed narcissist. So when I talk about narcissism, I'm not talking about, how the internet just throws the word out there freely. I'm talking about like hardcore diagnosed with it. And there's a process to being diagnosed with it. So, I have tended to pick up a few things to know when somebody is using their narcissistic side. I do believe everybody has a narcissistic side. Everyone. But the question is, how long does the narcissism stay with you? And that's when it can be a problem. If it lasts longer than a couple of weeks or a couple of months, or, I'm not really sure what the criteria is, but if it's been longer than a year, then, it would be something to look at. And I even had an experience where I asked a person to get checked again for narcissism. And they got angry. And it reminded me of when I used to talk to my sister about her drug addiction. She used to get angry. She would be full blown on drugs. And if I asked her about her addiction, she got angry and told me that she wasn't using. That's what narcissists do. They are really quick to deny it and then get angry when you ask for proof. They get angry when you ask them to show themselves. Nothing angers a narcissist more than truth. And nothing angers a narcissist more than facing the truth. And a person who wants to get better, and there are narcissist people out there that do want to get better. They do want to be better. And they go to therapy, they work at it, I do feel like that anybody can overcome anything by working at it. Like I also have dissociative identity disorder. It used to be known as multiple personalities. It's something I have to work at to not dissociate. And it's difficult. It's something that you have to work at every day. But if somebody were to come up to me, let's say I'm having a bad time at it, right? Because I'm not perfect. Let's say I'm dissociating all the time. And actually, recently, when I went to therapy, my therapist noticed that I wasn't acting like myself. And I was triggered. I've been going through a really stressful time, with school, life, everything. And my therapist was like, why are you dissociating? What's causing you to dissociate? And she knew. And she wanted to bring me back. She wanted to put me back on course. And I've been having a difficult time keeping myself on course. I don't have anybody to pull me back when I need them, when I need to be pulled back. But she knows. And, she was like, what's causing you to dissociate? Well, what if I had gotten mad at her and said, I'm not dissociating? Like, if I don't want to get better, I'm going to protect my actions. I'm going to make excuses for myself. I'm going to lie and say I'm not doing that. I'm going to gaslight. Just like a drug addict would do when they're full-blown using. So it's like if you ask somebody, like a narcissist, to test for narcissism and they get angry, it's because they don't want to face whatever. They're in denial, There's nothing wrong with you talking to people and asking them to do better. A person who wants to heal is not going to get mad about that. And I've also been around manipulative people where they feel that if you ask them to get better or if you ask them to get healthy, you're asking for too much. And you're worth that. You are worth having a healthy relationship for. You are worth being treated right. You deserve that. You deserve exactly what you want. You know, I think everybody goes through things. Everybody has ups and downs. Some of us are blessed with people who challenge us to do better. And some of us don't have that in our pocket. So, to be the best person that you can be for yourself, you have to start with having firm boundaries because you're teaching other people how to treat you. And it's okay to say no to somebody who's treating you wrong. It's okay for you to set boundaries, even if they get mad, even if they want to start an argument, even if they want to blame you for starting shit, when all you want to do is be loved the way that you love. Do not force somebody to do it. There are people out there who will love you. You just have to open yourself up to it. And I think that that's also one of the most difficult things to do, is to open up to love when you just want that one person to love you. But maybe who's meant to love you is not that one person. Maybe it's somebody else that you truly deserve. And that's what you need to open up to. And, more often than not, that person is yourself. Take the time to date yourself. Take the time to get to know yourself. And trauma is a real thing. Go talk to somebody. Have a very strong support group. It sucks to have to face this stuff and not have anybody to talk to. Once again, I know that personally. My therapist is like my best friend, and I have to pay her. I don't know anything about her life. She knows a lot about mine. But it feels good that I can have a place where I don't have to pour myself in and be taken for granted. So it really does help to, have someone to talk to that's not going to judge you and will help you on your challenges to where you don't have to overgive. So that is the episode for today. I am sending you a bunch of love. I am sending you a bunch of light. If you want to email me, please feel free to do so. Tara's Mental Calibration at gmail.com. All one word, no spaces. It's just like the my podcast title, Tara's Mental Calibration. All one word at gmail.com. All right. Have a great week and love yourself like no other. All right. Bye.